We are rolling.
Good morning. Welcome back to the conversation. This is Midlife Crisis Activities. This is our lifestyles and pop culture webcast. Our daily shout out to the world. I'm your host, Patrick Russell. And over there's my very vivacious producer, Veronica. Together we're here to lend our voices to the noise from a multi-generational perspective to help explain everything that's right and wrong in this world. You know, Veronica, I know you picked this topic to embarrass me, but I'm not embarrassed at all. So I listen to self-help books. I listen to positive daily affirmations like prayers. And you want to talk about whether or not they work. Is that the question of the day? Tell me.
Yeah. So do they work? So every morning, or 90% of the mornings, when we're about to get ready, Patrick is like, okay, let's pray. And then
it's time for our positive wealth building and success daily affirmations.
So I guess at some point, we all kind of go through the, let me listen to something positive. And I mean, it helps. But and then this morning, it was so funny because I'm doing the bed and then I'm listening to this and I'm like, oh, crap, let me do the bed. You know, so I mean, it helps, but I guess it depends on the person. So I don't know how you feel about it. I know it helps for you.
I mean, well, okay, let's start off from the beginning. As a youngster, I gravitated towards self-help books at a young age. I thought it was probably between 15 and 16 years old where I read for the first time Napoleon Hill, How to Think and Grow Rich. And from that, I jumped onto the next big pillar in my life as far as how I thought about structuring my daily thoughts of success was Tony Robbins, right? And Unlimited Power. I think both of those books truly passed the test of time. I've read over 100 books on the subject, but I really only remember a few different things because I think you start repeating a lot of the same messages, right? And I think a lot of it has to do with some things that people call the law of attraction, where it's just a matter of what you focus on, what you put your time and your mental energies to is typically what you end up attracting, right? And so I've always felt that way, and so one of the things that I practice is I do have on my iPod, one of the playlists is a self-hypnosis daily affirmations playlist, and there's a few personal ones that I listen to pretty much on a daily basis because I think they hit every single base in a really positive and a universal format. You know, it's not about greed and it's not about screwing anybody over or win at all costs. It's not about that. It's almost like in basketball, it's like letting the game come to you in more ways than one is how I really look at, you know, those types of daily affirmations and the practice of doing it. And so, yes, I do put you through that routine. And so now you're wondering whether or not that actually works, right?
Yeah. So just going back to what you said, I used to read, I don't know if you ever read this one. I'm pretty sure you did. Robert Kiyosaki, and that was a Rich Dad and Poor Dad.
Well, I know you like that one. So, you brought that one up a couple of times.
Yeah,
sure, there's plenty of them.
And I think I enjoy listening to like for a couple minutes, but and then it keeps from my point of view, it's like repetitive. So,
but that's the beauty of it because just like the scientific method, what doctors and what scientists, what they do in order to prove that something is actually a natural law is that they have to repeat the experiment and they have to receive the same result. And that's the beauty of these self-help books because, like you said, at some point you begin to realize they're all really mentioning the same thing just in different ways. Stephen Covey, Dale Carnegie, all of these individuals that have written some of the best self-help classic books, you read them and you're like, wait a minute, they kind of are saying the same exact thing, right? Yeah, and so that's really the beauty of it because then I believe in it even further because of the social proof that the library and the extensive catalog on the subject is on it that we can then see for our own eyes. Yeah, these people, if they follow these routines, if they follow these steps, generally speaking, serendipity will find them, right? The harder you work, the luckier you are. And so that's all part of it. But, you know, so you want to know whether or not it works. Well, you know, you really, like, I gave you my argument. The fact of the matter is that there's a long history of research on the matter, and I think there's enough social proof not only in the public world but also in your own world, in your own life, the mentors, the successful people that you've seen in your life and had a chance to interact with, and you ask them, how you did it, the modeling always comes into it. Hey, I followed this guy. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just followed the recipe.
Yeah.
And part of the recipe is keeping your mind focused, keeping your mind on the ball.
And now that
keep your eye on the ball.
And now that you mentioned, it is true, and it makes sense that if we keep repeating it, some people learn in different ways. So repetition, that's what makes you understand something probably, and then just keep repeating it. So now, and that's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you have the chance to listen to something nice and productive and positive, whatever that is, just to make you feel good, I mean, go ahead and do that. What I found kind of funny, I guess, this morning is like, while I'm listening to like, okay, be positive, be productive, and like I'm inside me thinking like, oh, I have to do the bed, so it's like the fight between what I'm doing and then what I have to put into my brain, which it's not the same, obviously. And once we start working on our daily tasks, and then you're like, okay, wait a minute, does it kind of reflect what I'm listening to? So it's just like, like the idea of it. So, if that makes sense.
So being 15 years older than you, I realize that it's the progression of time that really will show you, and the faith that you have in something's going to work, that you really will find the answer. Now, final note on that. Final note is this, is that a little wonky note for you is that where most self-help books get most of their inspiration and most of their true ethics and their rules?
I mean, I can imagine.
I'm going to make it easy for you. The Bible. The Bible. I mean, if you really want to break it down to a lot of its core elements, a lot of what you see reflected in parables and rules and lessons in the Bible, you now see regurgitated in a recipe for success, if you will. Okay, so just to kind of give you a little wonkiness, so if you want to go way back to the original transcript, it is the Bible. And if you remove, let's say, the emphasis on, the deity portions of it, if you just remove that and just take the lesson parts of it, you want to talk about, hey, I recognize these things again. It's mostly because a lot of these self-help books and these authors have gotten most of their inspirations truly from the golden rule. Treat others as you would like to be treated, I think, and then everything else kind of works itself out, to be honest with you.
Final note, because we have to leave. It's and then this will be another webcast. Mindset and then your body set, and exercising has been something that we're implementing, and it kind of goes along with what we listen to in the morning. So that will be in another webcast, but just kind of wanted to introduce that.
Oh, speaking of, The Secret. The Secret's really just more of a modern day retelling of some of the parables that you would find deep within the, the dialect of the yesteryears. That's hard apart because nowadays reading the Bible is really more just a matter of it's like reading William Shakespeare. It's not even so much trying to get what the message is, it's so much as trying to translate word for word what the sentence is before you can even get to the message. You're really just trying to figure out what it is it's telling you. And that really deters a lot of people from seeing the nuggets of universal truths that are embedded everywhere in the Bible. Nobody's denying that. But you see it now regurgitated in a secular way with things like The Secret, which is just another retelling of the law of attraction, mind you. Okay, guys, don't just subscribe to this channel, even though we will be doing this back and forth on a daily basis, but please use the comment box below. Lend your voices to the show. It'll make it a whole lot more fun. Guys, you already know it, but I'm going to say it. No matter what comes your way today, no matter what challenges or obstacles you may face, you just need to remember one thing.
Give him hell.
Have a great day, guys. We'll see you soon.